Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm back to break down this 8-game NBA DFS slate on DraftKings. Before we get into it, if you do enjoy the content at any point in this video, if you could please leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, I would greatly appreciate that. On the way to 500 subscribers, so thank you to everyone that has subscribed so far, and thank you to everyone that's tuning in today. We got a 8-gamer to get through, so with that being said, let's go ahead and start breaking down this one today. First game on the slate, we got Dallas taking on Washington. Right now, this game comes in with a 229.5 over-under with a 6.5 point spread in favor of the Dallas Mavericks. Expected to be a fairly decent pace game. As far as injury news in this one, Bradley Beal is listed as questionable. The latest update does have him listed as a true questionable, so we don't really know if he's going to be in or not. Of course, if he's out, Russell Westbrook becomes a much better play at 11-1. Guy's been putting up a triple-double night in and night out. Last time out putting up a triple-double, I think he has a triple-double in 1, 2, 3, 4 straight games. 59, 94, 69, and 50 DraftKings points. So you love to see that. Luka Doncic on the other side at 10-6, taking on the Washington squad that's not good defensively. You're going to have a lot of interest in tonight for sure. So these guys going back and forth. Definitely great options on this slate. Kristaps Porzingis at 8-3 continues to be a great option as well if he's seeing mid-30 minutes. He did last time in a slow-paced game against New York. I do think that this game's going to be much better of a fantasy point environment. So Kristaps Porzingis in a great position to succeed, and then Tim Hardaway Jr. continues to see a lot more minutes in this rotation than we were seeing him see earlier in the year. But with that being said, it's kind of being cut back the last 3 games. He was up there in like the mid-30s, so they might be going back to their old ways. So might be eating my words there. Just keep an eye on that as we go. I'd say probably not playing him until we see him get back up into the mid-30s range like he was. But Luka, Kristaps, Russell Westbrook, great plays. Rui Hachimura continues to see a bunch of minutes as well at 7K. He's finally priced up. We were paying like in the 6K, 5K range for him for quite some time there. Now he's priced up, but in a good game environment, I have no issue with you going there. And those guys are the main candidates to see really big games in this one. New York taking on Detroit, second game on the slate. Julius Randle comes in with a 9-4 price tag. This game comes in with a 205.5 over under, a 2.5 point spread in favor of the New York Knicks. Expected to be a very slow, ugly paced game. As far as fantasy is concerned, and the rotations are both starting to get healthier, and they're just throwing in a bunch of people. So this game in particular, I honestly just think it's going to be very hard for me to be playing anyone from this game. I don't think it makes any sense to be. Both teams not really playing for, too much as far as, I don't know. That's all speculation. Don't want to put any judgment, but probably not going to be going for a championship. But anyways, Detroit, New York, rotations are starting to be spread thin. Just a little concerned. Honestly, I don't even want to talk about this one because I just think that if you're going here, it's a little too risky. I don't really see there being huge upside out of any of these guys. Even Julius Randle at 9-4, he's the best play in the game by far. And being that it's going to be such a slow-paced game, and he's priced up to 9-4, like he can get you 45 DraftKings points. That's great and all, but that's barely getting you there at his price tag. So overall, not really interested in this one. Cleveland taking on Miami, third game on the slate. This game right now comes in with a 205 over-under. Similar, a 12.5 point spread in favor of Miami. Miami expected to win easily and not going to be a game that I'm going to want to target at all again. Cleveland does have a couple injuries in Jared Allen and Larry Nance Jr. If they continue to be out, which they are currently listed as out, maybe playing a guy like a Kevin Love at 5'3". I just don't think Kevin Love's going to get enough run. They're not in the run for like a championship run as well. So, 5'3" is a really good price on him. He did get 20 minutes last time out, so, maybe Kevin Love is an interesting option at 5'3". Can definitely get you there, but Dean Wade going to get a bunch of minutes for Cleveland. Hartenstein, the new acquisition, recently saw 20 minutes. He's a good fantasy point producer. He'd probably be the one that I'm most excited about. Putting up 35 and 26 DraftKings points the last 2 times out. He is priced up to 4.3 now compared to mid-3K price, but he'd be the one I'm looking to. And then Chetty Osman at 4.2 as well. I think with no Larry Nance Jr., going to get a bit of a bump up in minutes, but overall, very slow-paced game. Like I said, Hartenstein down here I think is a good bargain. Good bang for your buck type of play. And then on the Miami side, they're just way too healthy. Victor Oladipo coming over. You got Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, all these guys in the rotation. It's a little scary to be going there in such a slow-paced game. I think we're going to have some better options as we go along here. Minnesota taking on Philadelphia. Joel Embiid is listed as questionable. This game comes in with a 230.5 over-under with a 11-point spread in favor of the Philadelphia 76ers. As far as the latest update on Joel Embiid, it does look like he is a true questionable. We're not really sure if he's going to be back yet. He's missed 10 straight games, but there's a possibility that he returns in this one. And if he does, I think he's a great play taking on Cat. I think he's going to be a little bit limited, though, is the problem. So unless they say he's full go, no limit, but We know how the Sixers handle Joel Embiid. Usually they're very careful with him, so probably not looking to go there. On the Minnesota side, I'm going to continue to say it because it's true. Karl-Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, and Malik Beasley are going to continue to be great plays night in and night out because they're the ones that are going to have big games to stay in the game. If they don't have big games, chances are their team's getting blown out. So it's really that simple. These three guys going to have interest in playing them every single night. Malik Beasley has been really bad since returning, so he's the one guy, like, I'm just waiting for him to have a big game. I continue to play him. The guy has upside. He can really get it done, but especially with Ricky Rubio being out, I mean, Malik Beasley is a great play. It's just a matter of him having that one big game, and it could be against Philadelphia. On the Philadelphia side, if there is no Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons continuing to be great plays. Ben Simmons has been really bad. It's been Tobias Harris really carrying the load for the most part. But if there was ever a matchup to play Ben Simmons in, it would be this game, particularly against this Minnesota squad. They're very bad defensively. They're not really good at protecting the rim. I think Ben Simmons could have a big game in this one finally, so I wouldn't give you any issues with playing him. And then, of course, Dwight Howard at 5'8". If Joel Embiid continues to be out, he's a great play. Put up 44 DraftKings points last time out, finally having a big game. I've been waiting for that for quite some time out of Dwight Howard with there being no Joel Embiid, and it finally happened. And it could definitely happen again, taking on this Minnesota squad that's not good defensively. And then you got Danny Green and Seth Curry, last options on the Philadelphia side, both getting decent run. Both definitely have the upside based on their three-point shooting to get it done for you in this game environment. So definitely don't have an issue with you putting them in your tournament lineups. Indiana taking on San Antonio. Domantas Sabonis is listed as questionable. This game comes in with a 223.5 over-under with a 6-point spread in favor of the San Antonio Spurs. Domantas Sabonis' recent status lists him as truly questionable, and he did not return in Friday's game against the Hornets, so I'm thinking that he's going to be out in this one. If he is, we're looking to guys like Doug McDermott to get a big bump up. There is no Jeremy Lamb still, so Doug McDermott, Justin Holiday, and specifically Miles Turner, of course, at the center position, going to have a lot more usage, a lot more rebounding upside, and at 5'9", Miles Turner will make a ton of sense if there is no Domantas Sabonis in this one. And I have a feeling there's not going to be, so I definitely like Miles Turner. TJ McConnell even could get a bump up in usage. There is no Malcolm Brogdon. So he's definitely going to get a bump up in usage without the news of Sabonis being out, with Brogdon just being out on his own. And then you got Karis LeVert at 7'2", who's going to become a great play as well. San Antonio, a team that's traditionally good defensively, has not been good defensively all year long. So if people are still falling for that San Antonio, pop defense, it's not a thing anymore. So definitely like the Indiana Pacers in this one. As I said, Justin Holiday, Doug McDermott, all of the above. These guys are all going to get a bump in usage. Definitely have the upside to get you there. And yeah, on the San Antonio side, it's DeMar DeRozan, it's DeJounte Murray, it's Jakob Poeltl, it's Derek White. Those four guys, I say it every single time, but it's just true. Very condensed rotation as far as, the highest upside guys. You got Keldon Johnson and Rudy Gay down there, but they're not playing nearly the minutes that these four guys are. So definitely like these four guys. As far as run back options, they're the ones that I would be looking to in this one. Orlando taking on Utah. This game should be real ugly. Donovan Mitchell comes in with an 8-8 price tag. This game comes in with a 16-point spread in favor of the Utah Jazz. We know that Orlando traded their whole team. It's a 216.5 over under. It's expected to be a blowout. It's expected to be slow pace. It's expected to be just real ugly. So as far as who I'm going to this one, I'm not trying to pay up for anyone on the Utah side. I'm trying to get the guys like Mike Conley and Jordan Clarkson that are a little bit cheaper at 6'8 and 6'1. Because I think they actually have the chance of getting there in this one. The upper price guys like Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, I think it's far less likely that they actually get you the upside game that you need. Joe Ingles at 5'7 is an intriguing play. You got Bogdanovich at 5'4. He's an intriguing play. These are the guys I'd be targeting on the Utah side, the cheaper guys. And then on the Orlando side, pretty much anyone that's in you can play just because they're going to be out there for a lot of minutes and they're going to have to shoot. Guys like Wendell Carter Jr., Dwayne Bacon, Otto Porter Jr. I'd expect them to get a lot more minutes in this one because you got Michael Carter-Williams listed as questionable, Terrence Ross listed as questionable, Kent Burge listed as questionable. I would assume at least one of those guys is going to be out. Mo Bamba at 4'8 could be a great play as well. Good fantasy point producer. And then finally, RJ Hampton coming over from the Denver Nuggets is going to be a great play moving forward if he's getting some minutes. Very good fantasy point producer. And yeah, I mean, I think this guy could really break out. And just if Michael Carter-Williams and Terrence Ross are out, I think he's a great play. So, yeah, definitely like me some of him. Oklahoma City taking on Portland. This game right now comes in with a 227.5 over under with 11.5 point spread in favor of the Portland Trailblazers. Another game that's expected to be a blowout. Another game where OKC doesn't have a lot of their players. There is no Hal Horford. There is no Darius Bazley. There is no Lou Dort. There is no Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And Portland is a very good matchup. So like Moses Brown, Isaiah Roby, I do think these guys are great plays, getting lots of minutes, being relied on heavily in this rotation. I do like them quite a bit. I'd like these guys more than the Orlando side because of the game environment. You know, Portland's a lot easier of a matchup than Utah is. So I do think that these guys are valuable plays. Fee Mikhailuk at 5.5 continues to be a great play, playing like 36 minutes a game. Recently put up 37 DraftKings points most recently in his game. Pakuzevsky at 5.1. Great play as well. So definitely have some interest in these Oklahoma City guys. And then on the Portland side, if you're running it back, I would look to the cheap options similar to what we discussed. Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. I don't think they're really going to be relied on too heavily in this one. It's not expected to be a close game. They expect to be kind of an easy W. So guys like Robert Covington, Enes Kanter, and Norman Powell would be at the top of my list. These three specifically. I definitely like him. And then Nurkic, 5.5 as far as how his minutes have been recently, climbing a little bit, but not enough quite to go there. I'd stick to those three that I mentioned in Norman Powell, Enes Kanter, and Robert Covington. And the last game on the slate, Milwaukee taking on Sacramento. This one should be a good, fast-paced game. A 239 over under a 6.5 point spread in favor of the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks are on a back-to-back, so I'd expect this game to stay closer than it typically would if they weren't. So I'm definitely going to have some interest in these guys. As far as who I'm prioritizing, I mean, Giannis, great play at 10.9, taking on Sacramento. Sacramento's really bad defensively. Love him. Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, these three guys. Love all those guys. On the Sacramento side, it's a little bit more, piled up as far as who's getting minutes. De'Aaron Fox, the pay-up option at 8.9, he's the most guaranteed production as far as the player you're looking to, so I do like him quite a bit. Rashawn Holmes at 7.4, there continues to be no Marvin Bagley, no Hassan Whiteside, so we know he's going to get his minutes, so I like him a lot at 7.4. And then Halliburton, I like at 6.2. Buddy Hield at 5.8 is a decent play. These two guys, I mean, one of them is going to have a big game most likely, but not both because of DeLon Wright cutting into their minutes. So I would pick one of those guys in my lineup and run with it. And then Harrison Barnes at 6.2, I think gets big minutes regardless in the wing. They needed his defense, so I do think that he's a great play as well. And that is my overall breakdown of this 8-game slate. Before I let you guys go, I got to give you my lock of the night. Let's get into it. And my lock of the night tonight is going to be Miles Turner at this 5.9 price tag, taking on the San Antonio squad that I mentioned does not scare me defensively, and expected to be without Domantas Sabonis tonight are the Indiana Pacers. So I'm going to love Miles Turner in this one. I think he's going to get more shots, more rebounds, more opportunity overall. Tons of opportunity to succeed, and we know this guy's a good fantasy point per minute producer when he does get opportunity. All he needs is a few more minutes, and he can put up a huge game, currently producing at a 1.03 DK point per minute rate. Solid stuff for a guy that you're paying only $5.9 for as a center position. We all know centers guaranteed for the rebounds a lot more than these other positions, so not to mention Miles Turner's ability to block shots, alter shots. Love him in this one, and he is my lock of the night. So there you have it, guys. Miles Turner, get him in your lineups, and that is all for me in this one. If you did enjoy the content, if you could please leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. I would greatly appreciate that. And then don't forget to check out all of my KJK DFS packages, linked below in the description. If you're interested in some further content from me, MLB is started up, so I got an MLB package over there. I got my NBA DFS package. Check it out. Wish you guys all the best of luck tonight, and we will see you in the next one.